All right, good evening. My name is Jacob Jepson. I'm a student here at J-Tech, and tonight we're going to be discussing how to do a fuel pressure test on this Chevy Alvo right here. And some things you're going to need, first of all, is most important PPE, safety glasses, COVID is going around, mask, and gloves if you have them. We need a plastic bottle for the fuel to drain into. We're going to need the pressure gauge itself right here, and we're going to need this piece right here to connect to it as well. So we're going to bring this over here, set this up. Have a little spot here in the hood, on the hood latch. Set that there. Set this down here. We do need to get our bottle, so we'll have something for the fuel to go into. When it comes through the hose line there. Stick this in to the bottle, like so. Slide it sit somewhere. Everything's good. Then we're going to take the end of this piece here and connect it to the fuel rail on the shredder valve there. Make sure it's all the way on, so that way fuel does not leak out of it. And pull this piece back and make sure it goes on. See if it screws on here too. And it does. And make sure it's good and tight. And we're going to take our other end here, connect it to this end right here. Make sure it's fully connected and hear it click, and it is all the way on. So the purpose of this test here is to detect if the pressure is dropping in the fuel lines of the vehicle. Now typically the fuel pressure should be between 55 and 60 psi, should not drop below that. So we now have to get the key. We're going to do a key on, engine off test first. And we will see our pressure gauge needle jump up. Relieve the pressure here, like so, and you'll hear it click and the fuel will run out if there's anything left over in it. Once we get our recordings on our readings from the gauge, then we go ahead and turn the engine on, and measure the readings once again from the gauge, and see where the needles jump into it as well. Let it run for a second and shut it off, record our readings, and then this time there will be fuel that's caught up in the bottom of this gauge. Release all that air back and pushes the fuel back through this line and back into the bottle so we can keep the engine clean. So now we want to come into the car. Have a key. And action. So now what we want to do is go ahead and put key on, ignition off, like this, and we want to come back around to the engine bay over here and read our fuel pressure gauge. You should see the needle steady right there at about between 50 and 60. Can't really tell from the angle I'm at. You can see, here we go. Yeah, it's about 57 psi, which is a normal range. Come back around here, shut the key off.
Well, the idea is that you can talk about too. Like,
come back up to the gauge. You want to go ahead and relieve any pressure that's into this line. There we go. Just in case, you should hear the click. You see the bubbles running up that line. That's air being sucked back into it. And the next thing we want to do is go ahead and do key on, ignition on, with the engine running for a moment. Come back around here. Check it again. See the needle jumping a little bit, but it's within operating range, 55 to 60 psi. That lets us know that there's adequate pressure in the fuel line. So as you have seen, that is how you perform the test on that with the fuel pressure gauge. If the fuel pump comes on when commanded, then everything usually should be good. So what you want to do though, if there is an issue, is you want to inspect the fuel filter. If the filter is fine and clean, check the fuel lines, make sure there's no dirt and grime, things blocking that. Sometimes if the pressure is a little low, but everything looks clean, it could be an issue with the fuel pump. You want to R&R with that and check and look for an electrical issue as well. And that is how you perform the fuel pressure test. Thank you.